So thanks so much for tuning in. Who do we have on? Alain is on in Montreal. Welcome. The trip to Jamaica was great. Thank you very much. Ida Marie is on in DC. Christopher's on in the UK. Joseph's on in Nevada. Roger's on in Athens. 18 degrees Celsius there. It's about zero, I think, or -1 here right now. 11 degrees in Falmouth in the UK. 80 degrees Fahrenheit for Ida Marie. Cherry Blossom Festival this week. Oh, beautiful. It must be amazing. Take lots of pictures. David Claremont's on in Nova Scotia. -1 there as well. So, yeah, we're getting the same temperature. We don't have any snow, though, so it's beautiful sunny here. Monty's on in Saskatchewan. And no snow. That's good. Yeah, most of our snow has melted away that we got the other day. I might show you that a little bit later. But it is good to be back. Sarah is on in Germany. Mary is on in Finland. 10 degrees Celsius for her. Very nice. Swat is on in Poland. Fantastic. Christopher's on in Western United States. Washington State, I believe. Ida Marie, my Jamaica tan. Do you think I've got a bit of a tan? I don't know. I still look pretty pale to me, but yeah, maybe a little bit on the top of my head. Christopher, it'll sink in eventually. I know I always want to say Oregon, but I know it's Washington. Maybe I get thrown because I know Ida Marie's in Washington, D.C. I know they're very much different. Yeah, so I got a couple things I want to show you today, too, that I didn't show in yesterday's really long video. I had lots of Puget Sound, yeah, so you're just outside Seattle. Mark's in England. It's raining and cold there. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the things I didn't show in yesterday's mail video. One, I did get a couple postcards while I was in Jamaica, but it was a long video, yes, a very long video, and I tried to cut it down. And I feel bad to Stephen, if he happens to be on here, having to cut down all the extra tidbits he wrote about King Arthur. I just knew if I went through and read everything along that, the video would be an hour long probably, because I stop and I talk about things as as I read them too. So I did abbreviate that a little bit. So yeah, so I bought 3 postcards while I was in Jamaica. They aren't typical Jamaican postcards. They're of the resort. So I know those of you that have watched the videos have seen probably all these images before. But when I found the postcards, I was like, oh, well, I finally found some postcards. They were $2 US a piece. So that's why I only bought 3 of them. Nice big resort, lots of beautiful beaches and lagoons and swimming pools and things. So I did buy those while I was away. Oh, Charmaine's on in Maine. You're getting a little snow, are you? Okay. So I bought those postcards. I didn't buy any other ones. And we went on to a few different touristy spots. We kind of avoided the tourist shops that sold basically the same wooden carvings and Bob Marley merchandise and marijuana paraphernalia. Because people are quite pushy in Jamaica too. You know, they call you over, oh, where are you from? And then they sucker you into trying to buy things at a really expensive price. My brother did end up buying 2 wooden blocks with carvings on them. It cost him $30 US, and he felt bad about it after. Not bad that he bought it, that bad that he got suckered into spending so much on it. So it was a lesson learned in it. I did look for post offices when we were out and about. I didn't see them. We may have driven by a couple of them, but nothing that I could stop and go into or take pictures of. I talked to one of the guides when we were in the mountains, and he said there's one post office at the top and one at the bottom, and that's how people collect their mail. It's not delivered to them door to door or anything. But I didn't see either of those 2 to go in and look for stamps. So yeah, so I didn't come back with any Jamaican stamps or any really local Jamaican postcards either. But that's all right. I have the memories. I have the videos to look back at. And most people, when they want to get a card from me, they probably want to get something from New Brunswick if it's post-crossing and that sort of thing. I should have gone to a supermarket. We didn't really have a supermarket where we were. Our resort was pretty much outside of any populous towns. I could have went into Ochos Rios, which was about a 20-minute drive, 15-minute drive. But we weren't really in that market for just walking around the town. And they do recommend that you don't just go wander off It's just not safe to do that. So we didn't this time around. Postcards would be cheaper there, that's for sure. All right, there's communication back and forth. The other thing that happened while I was away is Canada Post issued a new stamp. And so normally I would have shown that in yesterday's video, but because of the length, I didn't. Carla, good morning from Mexico. So the stamp that came out was this one. Brian Mulroney. He was one of Canada's prime ministers. On the back, it says, born in Baie-Comeau. Let me open it up because the side kind of looks like the Donald Sutherland profile that you would get, the Donald Sutherland stamp that we had not too long ago, but inside it is a straight on shot of Brian Mulroney. It says, born in Baie-Comeau, Quebec, the Right Honorable Martin Brian Mulroney, born in 1939, passed away in 2024, is considered one of Canada's most consequential politician leaders. Serving from 1984 to 1993, the country's 18th prime minister led transformative economic, environmental, and political initiatives. His government introduced significant privatization, tax reform, and deregulations, as well as the Canada-United States Free Trade Agreement, the North American Free Trade Agreement, and the Canada-US Air Quality Agreement. Under his leadership, Canada took on influential global roles, notably in Germany's reunification and the campaign against apartheid in South Africa. So there is the Brian Mulroney stamp. I got 2 of those booklets. And to say that he was a controversial prime minister is probably correct. He was prime minister during that time when Ronald Reagan was prime minister and Ronald Reagan was president, excuse me, and Margaret Thatcher was prime minister. So kind of that right-wing ideology was happening, a lot more privatization of things. We started to get into more free trades, which are not happening as much anymore, but that all happened all at that time. And so the left wing didn't really like him, the right wing did like him, but he was kind of somewhere in the middle. Realistically, he was more of a right of center type prime minister for us. And yeah, when he left office in 1993, it was because his popularity was so low. He left his government with Kim Campbell. She took over as the first female prime minister we've ever had, and she was in power for about 4 months before they had an election, and then the Conservatives lost all but 2 seats. They were completely wiped out, so they had to start rebuilding again. So that's kind of where we are, and it's a little bit of history, a little bit of Canadian history from the late 80s, early 90s. So that's what that stamp represents. So very sad when he passed away, as we are when any of our leaders pass away. All right, who else? Oh, Stephen's on now in Australia. Welcome. And then everybody else is just saying hello to each other. That's great. So 21 people are on now. Only 7 people have given the thumbs up, so hopefully a few more people will give thumbs up. We'll continue to have more discussions here. Yeah, I want to hear what's going on with you guys and what you're thinking about, what you're talking about. If you watched yesterday's video, you know I've got a lot of stuff coming up soon. Hello, Stephen. Yeah, from stamp albums. Really nice earlier stamp album. We're going to show that next week. We will have the results of who's going to win the Stamp of the Month contest on Monday, which means I've got a couple other stamp envelopes that came in that I want to show because some of the contributions in those are going directly into the giveaway. Roger says they're jumping their clocks ahead for spring daylight savings time coming tomorrow. It felt like here in Canada, we sprung too far ahead and we sprung right back into winter when we got snow again. So adjust your clocks accordingly so Athens doesn't get snow too. Ida Marie has that red stamp album. Oh, that's cool. This one, just to give you a heads up, let's see the date inside of it. It says it's copyrighted 1935, so that's when this one came out. There may be some stamps that go a little bit forward than that, but mostly 1935 and earlier in that book. Christopher, in the UK is also, their clocks are going ahead. So you're going to get back to being 4 or 5 hours difference from me rather than the 5 or 6 hours you have now. Carla's getting to go to a meetup in April. Very excited about that. So that's going to be cool. We'll look forward to hearing the stories back from you. And then Steven's clocks don't go back until April. You paid $1 for the album. Great deal then, especially if it had a bunch of stamps inside of it. Germany's changing their clocks tomorrow too. Thank you, Sarah. Then on top of those, we got to get to this next week too. I've been so excited about opening that to see what Jilly sent. If you've been watching my channel for a very long time, she was one of those early ones who self-proclaimed said she was the biggest fan of my channel. She sent me a parcel from the UK before. She sent it in the summertime, so all the chocolate she sent arrived melted because of the heat. So I'm hoping that what's inside that, if there is some chocolate in there, is not melted this time around. Although I still ate the chocolate that was melted. Who's going to say no to good chocolate? Carla says they don't change their clocks in Mexico. So much like Jamaica, they don't change theirs. I wish they wouldn't change them here. Let's just keep the clocks as they are rather than this going forward, going backwards business. And Ida Marie said the stamp album had stamps inside of it for $1. So what a bargain. Congratulations. So yes, there's a bunch of different things. Tomorrow, normally I am putting out a post-crossing video. I don't know if I will or not. I have started to, today I wrote a couple cards. I probably will write a few. I have over 30 people of my friends direct swaps, you guys that are on now, that I need to respond to. So even though I've got maybe 15 slots available for post-crossing, I think I'm going to put my time into answering you guys. You guys have been patient. You guys keep sending things on. The blacks, what's wrong with the blacks? I don't know. There's nothing wrong with blacks. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Yay, I agree. Not a fan of daylight savings time. Okay, so you as well, Stephen. So I think tomorrow I want to focus more on getting back to some of my friends and things and writing to them rather than my post-crossers this time around. I might do some post-crossing cards through next week, which means that my video might change for tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow will be a good time to put out a video about what's in that box from Jilly B. I'm thinking that's what I might do. So just in order for everything to fit in. And then that will leave me next Wednesday for the You Choose video. We can do that for decorating. I'll still have probably a few direct swaps left on my list, hopefully. Well, hopefully not too many, but I will have some that we can send a mystical card off to. Now, Sarah has confirmed she has received all, well, she's received the last big card that we sent out as a That Dad Guy crew. So all right, you're getting into politics, so that's not this channel really. Let's remove. Yes, Sarah got, as I was saying, Sarah got the Naked Man postcard that you guys picked to send. It arrived in her box, which was funny because I think, Sarah, you picked the number that actually picked your address. I can't remember. I know Media did that with the card that she got. Maybe you didn't pick the number, but someone picked it and you happened to be on the live stream. Either way, that's where it ended up. And it ended up intact. I didn't put it in an envelope. I just mailed it off as is. I did put a piece of washi tape over what might have caused some stir in the community, the postal community, and it arrived in that condition. So that piece of washi tape was still there. Whether anybody peeked under it along the way, who knows? So those of you that were on that You Choose live stream or watched it in replay know exactly the card that I'm talking about. So we will do that again on Wednesday. We'll resume doing that. There's going to be a new stamp of the month that will come out on Tuesday. I've got some preparation to do for that as well. And then Stamp versus Stamp, I've talked to Snail Mail with Smokey, who has reached 1,000 subscribers. So he'll be able to do live streams now as well. And maybe we'll do one together. And we'll probably have our Stamp versus Stamp video come out the following week. There you go. What has been revealed under the washi tape has been revealed. It was a funny card. I had a good time knowing that you guys had picked that card. I had some apprehension of how it was going to travel through the post, but it made it okay. I have gotten a message from Olia in Poland. Her internet connection hasn't been great, and so she's not able to join the live streams right now. But she did want to say thank you to Monty, which is a good reminder. She did receive your envelope, so she thanks you very much for sending that to her. And so she sent me a message asking me to thank you for that. So before I forget, that's what I want to do. But hopefully the internet connection for Olia in Poland will be back again, and she can join our live streams and communicate with everybody. There you go. Yeah, send your hellos out to her, and when she can see the video again, she'll get a chance to see all your responses. Roger wants to know how in general I would explain my trip with my brother. How it happened, is that what you mean? He won a trip for two. He's not married and doesn't have a girlfriend currently, and so he had asked a couple friends that have been really good to him and his best friends that are local nearby. Both of them had other plans going on. One had been away during that week that the trip would take place, and the other one was going on a trip as soon as they would have gotten back, so it didn't make sense for him to do that with their vacation time. So he reached out to me. I had vacation time. Shanda was encouraging enough to let me go and do it. And so that's how it happened, if that's how your question was. If your question was, how was the trip overall? It was fantastic. We had a good time together. We were able to just kind of lay back and relax a little bit, talk a lot about growing up, talk a lot about what our parents are going through right now, and what we're kind of dealing with, and the importance of keeping communication with them to keep their brains active. So yeah, we did that. We got to do our own thing a little bit too. When he just wanted to sit by the pool and I was hyperact to do, I just went off and filmed and did other stuff and then created the videos for you guys. When it got too hot and we just wanted to sit in the room for a little bit and watch movies, we did that. I worked on editing videos for you guys. The internet connection wasn't great. It wasn't bad in the room. It was a bit slow, so it took a lot longer. But because I was putting the videos out in the future, I wasn't in a big rush for it either, so that worked out well. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, ask again and I'll try to figure it out. And there you go. Monty has responded. Olia, he's glad that you got the envelope. All right, perfect, Roger. Yeah, we had a great trip. Weather was fantastic. It's something we don't get to do very often. Hello, Tanuki. So where he lives in Toronto and I live here in Moncton, we don't see each other very often. So we send texts, so we might talk on the phone, but that's usually how we communicate the best. We usually talk during baseball season. We're both New York Yankees fans, and so we talk about the ups and downs as we go through. You missed that, Stephen. The only postcards I got in Jamaica were these three that are of the resort, and they were extremely expensive buying them at the resort. But I didn't find any other Jamaican postcards in my travels, and nor did I buy any stamps. Were there any problems in Jamaica? Well, we had some room problems. The very first day we checked in, we were given a room that had one king-size bed in it, and we did not want to sleep in the same bed together. So at the time, they didn't have another room available, so they put a cot in the room, and I slept on the cot, and he slept in the bed. But the next day, they did have a room that opened up, so they did move us. But before that, those of you that know me know that in order for me to relax or enjoy to relax, I like to lay in the tub. So our suite did have a tub and a shower in it, and so I laid in the tub, but the tub would not stay filled. The drain was busted, and so as I turned off the water would drain right out. So that was the first day. Then we moved into the new room. The new room was great. Had two beds. That's what we wanted. So no cuddles, no cuddles between the two of us. So the next day we moved into the new room. So I thought I'd try this tub. Maybe this tub would be better. Well, it had the reverse problem. It had a plug that went in, but the thing to open the plug did not work, so the water wouldn't drain out. So I had to use two toothpicks and dig out the plug in order for the water to drain. And it seemed to do fine. The next day, my brother decided after we'd been out zip lining and bobsledding and stuff that he needed to soak his back and relax his muscles. So he thought he'd have a bath. So I went off, filmed elsewhere, did things. And when I came back, he said that someone had come knock on the door after he got out of the tub and it had been dripping down. The pipe had been leaking down into the unit below. So those were some issues that we had. After that, we decided, we're not going to have any more baths on this trip, so that's fine. Other than that, everything was good. Food tastes. The food was fantastic at the resort. What was my favorite food? Grilled pineapple probably was my favorite of the things that I got to experience while I was there. That was at a Brazilian restaurant we went to the last night. They brought all the meat on skewers, and they also brought grilled pineapple. That was fantastic. Some of the meals we had at some of the other restaurants were really good too. The banana flambe was a great presentation to have right next to it. Some nice desserts. The buffets always had great food. The orange juice for a juice was fantastic because I don't drink alcohol, so I drank lots of fruit juices and pop while I was there. So Charmaine said the postcards in Belize were expensive as well, but the stamps were cheap. I didn't get to experience any stamps, unfortunately, but did I miss anything else? What's the best time to visit Canada? I would say the summertime, unless you're actually coming for snow. Did I miss anything else? Carla had the same thing. You had a room that had one bed in it. You did share a bed with your brother. Yeah, it can be a bit awkward, can it? Especially as grown adults. I'm in my 50s now, and he's just about to turn 60. So I think at our age we can have our own beds. But yeah, I'm glad that the hotel was able to accommodate, and we were able to get a different room that had two beds because I didn't want to spend a whole week sleeping on a cot. And he won the trip, so only rightfully he should get the big bed. Oh, Tanuki's from Switzerland. Do I plan to visit the U.S. soon, or are we joined the boat? I won't be visiting the U.S. anytime soon. You're right. And we are buying only products that are either made in Canada or not from the U.S. as we can. So yeah. Stephen says postcards I've received from Jamaica were all $100 Jamaican. Not sure how much that would be in other currency. It's like $1 Canadian, or $1 US rather. Yeah, and Ida Marie, that is not an attack on you at all. My American friends, it is just government that we are dealing with. So our annoyance is not towards the American people, it is towards the government policies that are in place right now. So, like I said, I don't take a lot on politics, but I am a strong supporter of my sovereign nation. So I will continue to be that. The postcards took 6 to 8 months to arrive. Wow, that's a long time. Now, Carla and I have had an experience. She sent me a postcard in early January from Mexico, and I just got it here in March. So it's taking a while to get there. And I think Charmaine sent me a postcard from Belize while she was there, and it took several weeks longer than it took for postcards from Belize to Europe. So whatever the slowness is from the Caribbean to Canada, it does exist. Tanuki's going to Japan tomorrow. That's awesome. Have a great trip. I'm very jealous. One day I would love to visit Japan. I visited Switzerland. It's a beautiful country too. Great chocolate. Thank you, Christopher. Yeah. And not a problem, Ida Marie. I mean, you guys, I know I love you. There are wonderful people all around the world. Unfortunately, there's a few bad apples too. So you gotta work around them and stand up to bullies. Cheese. Oh, cheese. There was some fantastic cheese when we were in Jamaica too. Not that it probably was local cheese, but just the spread of food, as I showed in the video, they had something for everyone. And they had gluten-free options for those people that, like, they had mountains and mountains of bread. A friend of mine from the post office went to Cuba, and they said, I wish you could have sent some of the Jamaican stuff to us in Cuba, because their resort had hardly anything. And I remember that was the same thing when I went to Cuba. The people were great. The architecture was cool. Seeing the cars from the 50s, I know why it was from the 50s, but it was a very interesting experience. But the food was not that great there. So yeah, some places have a plenty and some places have nothing. It's too bad that we couldn't all enjoy the benefits. Charmaine said only 10 days from Belize to Poland to Norway. So yeah, and yeah, I think it was like 3 weeks or something to get to Canada. And Christopher received postcards from Serbia and the US this week, so that's fantastic. At least we know, Charmaine, they get here eventually. And there's no timetable. That's a great thing about post-crossing and direct swaps with friends. They'll get here when they get here. It'll just be a surprise. So if it takes 2 months from Carla to get a card or receive a card, so what? You're going to get it eventually. And if you write more frequently, they show up more frequently too. Media definitely does that. I get cards from her more often, probably more often than she gets cards from me, just because I'm having a hard time sometimes keeping up with the amount of mail I'm sending out. Eventually, I'm going to have to pare that back. So maybe my core people that have sent things up to now, I keep responding to, and then some of the new people that have finding me on YouTube, I'm just going to have to say thank you. But one of the things I am thinking about doing once again is creating another That Dad Guy card. There have been 2 regular That Dad Guy cards that have gone out, and there have been World Postcard Day postcards that I've sent out with Polo. But I think it might be time for another That Dad Guy card to be created, just for thank yous to go to people. Lila's on. Well, hey, welcome, Lila. Glad to see you're on as well. Tanuki says, we have some very good cheese. Was a problem for my Japanese wife in the beginning, but she got used to it, and now she's a fan. Yeah, I'm sure there's, from any culture, any different background too, if you're not used to certain tastes or styles of food, it just takes some getting used to. Designing postcards is fun. Yes, I agree, Lila. And in the past, it's mostly just been my logo. So, oh, Sergey's on. Welcome, Sergey. Are you late? Well, we've been doing this for 30 minutes, so you're here when you're here. Welcome. I'm glad you're back again. Ida Marie says, signed up for that when it was first posted. What did I miss? Oh, the Napex. Okay. So yeah, so lots been going on. I'm glad you guys have been keeping up with things and keep watching. Haven't forgotten about me while I've been gone. All right, Tanuki, have a great trip. You and your wife back to Japan. See all the wonderful things. Take lots of pictures and share your experiences next time you're back on here, or leave a comment to one of the videos. Let me know how things are going. It's nice that Lila and Ida Marie are so close together that they actually get to run into each other and see each other at different events. Well, thanks, Christopher. I tried to make it so you wouldn't forget about me by putting out all those videos before I left. So there was a continuous video every day. And then Thursday you got 2 videos because of the one that came out on French Guyana. And yesterday you got 2 videos as well because my final trip back from Jamaica and then the post-crossing one. So we should settle back into a daily routine again. Maybe even one day I'll take a day off. Who knows? Lila, get better. Don't overdo it. Make sure you're super healthy. But we're glad to see you on here again. Some other people have been missing. We haven't seen Amber from Missouri in a while. Hopefully she's doing well. I know she's got 2 young kids and they've constantly battle those sicknesses and it runs through the household. So we'll look forward to seeing Amber again here once again. Yeah, Vera in Germany we haven't seen in a while. So hopefully she'll be back. But I know people have other things going on and they check in when they can. I find that too with some of the postcards and like Jilly B. I haven't seen a new video from you recently. I'd love to see something come out from you. I know Renee has been back putting out some videos now that she's had a bit of a break from work, but it's been a busy time for her as well. Bex, I haven't heard from Bex in a little while in the UK. Who else? Michelle in the UK, I haven't heard from in a little while either. And Dakota says hello. Well, Polo says hello back. What else been going on? Oh, Downey Live. Not that he's a follower of my channel, but he's one of the channels that I like to watch on YouTube as well. I haven't seen anything been posted out him by 2 months now, I think, since he's posted something. So it's a wonder sometimes what happens to people. Hopefully they don't get injured. Hopefully that something hasn't happened to them that they can't put out anything or say hello. But I know life gets in the way sometimes and changes. Myths and legend stamps are coming out in the UK. So is that like a Loch Ness Monster stamp that would come out, or Bigfoot? Or are you thinking like King Arthur myths and legends? So what kind of stamps are they? Yes. Yes to which one of those? It's like when someone asks you, do you want pie or cake? Yes. Some recent garden stamps that come out with wildlife for the UK. Okay. Oh, SpongeBob stamps coming out in the US. The Loch Ness. Okay, thank you. Morning, Don. How are things in Idaho? Beowulf and some other ones. Okay, those are cool. So we'll look forward to seeing them. Maybe they'll start showing up on some of my mail from my friends in the UK. That'll be 8 stamps total in the, okay. Getting warmer in the Idaho, good. It is getting, well, I say it's getting warmer. It's like -1 today, but yesterday I think it was 8 degrees, or the day before. It's going like this. Slowly it is working its way back up. I don't know what a silky is, but I'm sure between 8 stamps, there'll be a few that will be brand new to me. Oh, Gary's on in Surrey, British Columbia. 8 degrees there, light rain. Oh, Cornish pixies. Okay, I know what those are. And you're saying they're not real? 29 Fahrenheit in Maine and snowing. So leave that there. Don't send it north across the border. I don't want any more snow. I am done with winter. I want to move quickly into summer. I want to skip over the wet, damp part of spring. I don't mind when the flowers start popping up. That's a good part. But I do want to get back to the point where I can go to work in the morning in my shorts and a work t-shirt. Ogopogo, I know about Ogopogo. I actually have a stuffed Ogopogo here that my kids got when we lived out west in the Lake Okanagan. It's 34 degrees Fahrenheit in Idaho. So still not warm, but it's 19 Celsius for Stephen in Australia. You get lots of pixies. I'm calling them pixies. You're calling them pice guys? Or is it just the pronunciation? Charmaine can't wait to see flowers until daffodils are up and blooming. Yeah, you're a little bit further south. Anyone see the eclipse? I did not see the eclipse. I heard about the eclipse, but I wasn't up early enough in the morning to see it. We have a few, I wouldn't say all year long here, Gary. There are some people that push the short thing as long as they can and even wear tights underneath of it, but still wear the shorts. But usually by January, there are no more of those people out there. It is just too cold here. I know my son every once in a while decides, oh yeah, I'm going to go out in shorts because I'm only going so far. And it's like crazy. You are going to injure yourself if you do that. All right. Thank you, Christopher. I'm at the point now where I almost should be wearing my glasses to read these messages. I do have glasses, and I only need to wear them when I'm driving late at night or when I'm trying to read subtitles off a TV. Reading up close, not a problem. But as I get further away, some of the letters start to mix together. Yes, I agree, Stephen. That's how I normally would have spelt it, with an X, not an SK for pixies. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Gary got lots of leaves, and the tulips and daffodils are popping up. Several flowering trees, yep. Vancouver, the West Coast, their spring starts a little earlier than the rest of us. Roger said, you should see me in shorts in the UK in 1963. I couldn't. I wasn't even born then. When the UK had a harsh winter with lots of snow, I wonder how much that would have been. Lots of snow is conjunctive. Bluebells are starting to come out for Christopher. All right, Charmaine, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining. It was nice having you back on again. And now that I'm back in Canada again, it'll be nice to chat again. I guess if you're not Cornish, you can get away with calling them pixies. Okay. I'm not Cornish. I'm not even a hen. Questions. Paravion sticker. Is it acceptable to use another country's Paravion sticker on U.S. mail? Yeah, I think you could use your airmail stickers wherever you want. It's supposed to be Paravion. That's how it was put out originally. Ours have both, airmail and Paravion. So robins are starting to show up in Idaho. Yeah, we're starting to get a few of the birds are coming back again too here. Charmaine's getting lots of love as she's heading off early here. Lots of winter lasted 3 months in 1960. But how much snow? Winter lasts the same amount of time every year. It's just a matter of what happens during that time. Hello. So 23 and 15 likes. We're getting closer. Up those likes. Let's go. The sea froze in certain places. Okay. Gary's had robins for the past month. I'm not sure why your words are mirrored. I don't know. Nothing's different than I normally do on the live stream. I don't know anything about leviathans. You tell me about them. Mountains of snow. Steve, how much have you missed? You've missed 40 minutes and 48 seconds. So if you want to find out, you'll have to go back to the beginning and rewatch and be part of the replay crew. But thanks for showing up. Is the UK all the same time zone? I believe it is. Your robins are about a third of the size of the robins here in North America. Okay. With those red bellies. Do they look the same as our robins? Or is it a regional look? So it's part of the robin families, but they're all a little bit different. Just like blue jays, there are lots of different types of blue jays that are here. Red-breasted robins, yeah. You get hummingbirds year-round there, yeah. We only get hummingbirds in the summer here. They're around, though. My in-laws have a hummingbird feeder in the back, so we get to see them there. We used to have one on our back deck as well, and enjoyed that very much, and then we had a dog, and then the hummingbirds never came back. Now that we don't have a dog again, I guess we could put one back up, but we haven't. Ida Maria's had some hefty robins in their neighborhood. Must be eating well then. Fewer worms in the UK. Maybe. Yeah, I remember the Stellar Jays. They're loud too. When I was living there, we had them in our yard. They make a lot of noise. Dawn had a pretty good winter, 24 inches of snow all year. That's not bad. We've had a pretty good winter as well. Not a lot of snow. And I've shown you pictures of the yard with the snow. Some of you will say that's a lot, but it wasn't. Yeah, I think Stellar Jays are bigger than a traditional blue jay, especially the blue jays around here with kind of the white tufts of hair on it. Very bright blue that we have. More like if you're into Major League Baseball, the mascot for the Toronto Blue Jays, that's the kind of blue jay we have around here. There is another one too that is a bit different. All right, speaking of snow, I did say that I would show you what it looks like here. So let's do a little bit of walk and talk. We'll go into the front yard. I do have the next 2 months, Joseph, of things planned for Stamp of the Month. So I will be looking into the summer before we are changing topics, but I'll be thinking of them very soon to let people know who contribute. All right, so we're outside. This is what you have. I have pretty much green right there, but there's a little touch of snow left on this side. And you can see the neighbors have a little bit here and there, but mostly it is gone. See the mailbox, a little bit of snow around it. In the next couple of days, it'll all be gone. Ida Marie says she's got Stellar Jays there as well. Gary's already getting into gardening, getting dirt delivered. All right. That's it. We'll go back inside. It's 25 degrees, or 25 people on. 21 thumbs up. We are getting there. Thank you so much to everybody who is liking and hopefully subscribing to the channel too. So you get to be a part of this going forward as well. Christopher says the golden finch is their state bird. I'm sorry to hear, Steve, that your father passed away. You'll have some memories maybe going through that stamp collection and seeing the things that were important to him that he collected or that they collected, if it was part of your mother's as well. I know going through my father's collection, that's the way it is. There's a link, even though my parents are still alive, it reminds me of a certain time. He doesn't remember the collecting it as much anymore. So it's up to me to carry it on. And I do it gladly. So maybe you'll do the same, Steve. Lila's got the yellow finches in her garden. Yeah, it's not an easy time when you lose a parent or a family member or close friends. I know I have a cousin right now that's been going through a bit of a difficult time with losses in her family, whether they be friends or in-laws and things like that. So yeah, we're all thinking about you, Steve, and you'll get through it. Yeah, Alain, there was a series that Canada Post put out too of legendary creatures, and Ogopogo was one of them. You're right. Great blue heron in your backyard. That would have been a shock. Yeah, it's a big bird. Do you have a pond or something that it landed in to eat your koi or something? No worries, Don. Appreciate you coming in, stopping in, saying hello. We'll probably be going for a little bit longer. Not that much longer, though. So if you want to watch in replay, you can see whatever else you missed later on. Thanks for joining. Joseph said he lost his father-in-law earlier this month. Yeah, it's not easy when our parents get to a certain age. And either you're taking care of them as you watch them decline, or you start to lose them. It's that circle of life that we all have to go through. You got a small pond, no fish. So maybe the heron stopped in for lunch and realized that you were out of food. And he was looking at you saying, time to feed me. Yeah, Steve, it's going to be a big job. I've got boxes down here that have loose stamps that are some on paper, some not on paper. Some of them sorted, some of them not sorted by country. I'll get to it when I get to it. It's the same thing with you. If you're interested in the stamp collection, you'll make it your own. You'll go through, you'll sort. You may find people to trade with. You may even decide that some of it you're going to pare it down, and yeah, it's up to you. There's no time frame, which is the great thing about it too. As long as you have a space to put it, get to it when you get to it. Maybe now is not the right time to go through it. If you've just lost a parent, you may want to take a break and then come back to it in a while and look at it. Mother's Day tomorrow in the UK. All right, well, happy Mother's Day to anyone in the UK that is celebrating. Adam Marie gets some large deer from time to time. I live in the city, so we don't really get deer close by. Sometimes near the highways, where if it's wooded, you get deer there. The odd moose every once in a while shows up. We did have one in our neighborhood last year. I didn't see it, but apparently it had shown up. There's a neighborhood group chat that I saw people's cameras from their houses. I'd caught images of it. Joseph gets some coyotes. Item Marie lives in the city. She gets deer in the city. Well, so you must be close to a wooded area where they get to. Well, Roger, if you're the only one that's interested in it, if you don't have children that you're passing it on to, or someone else that's paid interest to it, you can always send it to that dad guy, and I'll shoot a video about it for you. Hey, how's that sound? No, hopefully there'll be someone that will take it on for you, Roger. I am joking about sending it to me. I don't mind if people do that, but it's just meant as a joke. Monty gets lots of deer that are grazing by the bird feeder. Yeah, good place to graze if all those seeds are falling on the ground below. And Gary gets a few animals, but no deer in the suburbs that he's in. Yeah, I remember we had a apartment on English Bay in downtown Vancouver right by Stanley Park, and we had coyotes all the time. And we had a half German Shepherd, half Husky dog called Darwin, and kind of looked like a coyote. So every once in a while when we'd run into another coyote, they would size each other up. Well, there you go, Steve. You're also into Lego, so we're in the same boat with stamp collecting and Lego. Great hobbies. Can be expensive. One day, love to see some of the pictures of what you've got, if you can. You can always reach out to me on That Dad Guy 1974 on Instagram. Yeah, local stamp clubs might be part. Stephen has a brother and sister that collect stamps, so yeah, there's some other people to help in there, and maybe there are nieces and nephews or siblings that will want to take it on in the next generation. No stamp club in Athens. Yeah, I don't know if the library would take it on or not, if that's... Yeah, just box it up, put that Dad Guy address on it, and it will come here. Used to have a possum, Ida Marie, that came by. I don't think I've ever seen a possum in real life. I mean, maybe at a zoo or something like that, but I mean out in the wild. Christopher's the only one in his family that collects stamps as well, trying to change their ways. Well, that's what we're doing here. We're getting more people excited about collecting stamps and all the different things that go along with them. The history behind them, the imagery on them. I know there's people out there say, yeah, boring, but yeah, if you dig right into it, it doesn't have to be. No, stamp collecting doesn't have to be expensive, that's for sure. Anyways, Roger, I'm sure you have a long life ahead of you, and it's not something you have to worry about. I know preparing is important, though. You'll hopefully get to enjoy your collection for a very long time. 23 people on, 21 thumbs up. That might be the most thumbs up we've had in connection to the amount of people that are on at the same time. So that's a positive thing for the channel, I think. For those of you that have been watching most of my videos, what are your favorite videos? I know my stamp versus stamp videos don't get a lot of views, especially compared to Smokey. Smokey might get twice as many views on his channel of that series that we do together than I do, and I have more subscribers, so you'd think that more people would watch it, but maybe it's not something people are as interested in. Maybe people want to watch more of the stamp videos or the post-crossing videos or adventure videos. Curious. I might put out a poll seeing what people are watching, what they like to see. or if they just like to watch everything. Yeah, you can't flood the market, Christopher, with thumbs up. We are 22 and 22. We are equal. Now, we did lose a person in order to become equal, but it's nice to see those numbers match. The same amount of people that are on are liking the video. Sarah's favorite video is the You Choose one we do on Wednesdays. Okay, that's good to know. How many of my viewers do post-crossing? I don't know. I have almost 2,200 subscribers now. I average about 150 to 200 views per video, which isn't great in comparison to the amount of subscribers. So you're only getting a tenth of the people that are subscribed viewing a single video. Now, there are some videos that have thousands of views, but I'm just looking at kind of an average of what you see come out. So I'm curious what people are interested in watching, what people don't. Item Marie likes the ones with talking. Well, I'm always kind of doing some talking in it. But yeah, I do know there are some videos like car shows and things like that that is more of showing the cars with a musical overlay. Going back, stamps, history, artwork, geography, nature, sports, lots of variation, interesting areas. Talking about collecting. Christopher likes the history with stamps. So those are my Thursday videos of my father's stamp collection. They're a bit of work to put together. Media likes the post-crossing and decorating videos the best. So that would be my Friday and kind of Sunday, Wednesday videos. Item Marie's a post-crosser. If you don't like a video, give it 2 thumbs down. Well, let's not give thumbs down to videos if you don't like them. If you don't like them, just don't watch them. But I'm just curious. Joseph also likes my Thursday videos with the stamp albums and the history. Stephen likes most of my videos, just not so interested in the car videos. Those only come about twice a year because there's 2 car shows a year here that I go see and review. Gary likes the stamp videos. Item Marie likes the remotes and the decorating postcard videos. History with stamps are good. Thursday videos. Gucci's got me a 24-pack of bottles of bourbon. Well, that's not much use to me, seeing I don't drink alcohol. But so Gucci, go ahead, finish it off for me. Rogers asked this question before. Are there any topics that are not found on stamps? I don't know. I can't imagine that stamps haven't covered almost anything by now. This is a community, not a competition for most views. True. But the views certainly help determine what I do going forward. Because if people don't like what I'm putting out, I'd rather not waste a lot of time putting it out if people don't want to see it. Now, some things like the Snail Mail with Smokey collaboration, I enjoy it. Smokey enjoys it. So we're going to keep putting them out even if people aren't watching them. Alan wants more stamp videos. Yeah, I think I've got quite a few stamp videos. Probably do 4 stamp videos out of 7 a week. Sometimes more. And if you include the stamps that are on post-crossing, maybe 5 or 6. So I'm putting out a pretty good number of them a week. Second thumbs down cancels the first. Okay. Yeah, I suppose if you hit the button twice. Starbucks here for post-crossing videos since post-crosser. That's fantastic. I'm glad. I got a message from someone today saying they were new to post-crossing, and so they wanted to find out some more information about it, and searched it and found my video. So I'm happy that I'm being promoted through YouTube for post-crossing. I love hearing that, or people have watched my videos and decided to give post-crossing a chance. I know Ross, who sends me cards, has said that he's signed up for post-crossing now. So that's great. That was post-crossing. It's coming along great. I am almost up to 900 cards received and sent in post-crossing now. I have lots of addresses I still need to write since I've been away. Lila likes seeing the Canada new stamp, so you got to see the new Brian Mulrooney stamp today. That other people, unless they didn't watch this video, wouldn't get a chance to see on my stream. Sarah's been doing post-crossing for 4 months now. Way to go. What is the weirdest card I've ever gotten? Just weird. I've gotten a bunch of strange one. Bad one that I did particularly like, but that's all right. I let the person know when they haven't sent me anything like that. I got a torture one once. I don't really want to see those. Postcards should be positive influences. Other than that, I'm not too picky about anything else. I don't really want anything military really or negative propaganda stuff. I'm not too interested in, but unless it's historical propaganda, it might be different. Yeah, that's why I recommend it too, Gary. That the more people give positive comments or comments in general, I guess, but positive is what I want to hear, or the thumbs up. The algorithm for YouTube is pushing it out to more people to see. So now we're at 28 people on now and 22 thumbs up. Christopher would like to send more cards, but it's getting expensive. Yep, you have to find out what's within your budget within the hobby too to send. So that's why this week I'm kind of focusing on my direct swaps and not my post crossing as much, because I want to get, my friends, I want to rate them back too. They've spent the time to write to me. I want to be able to respond. Gary said he found out about post crossing through my channel, so that's great, when he was looking for stamp videos. Steven says he found my channel for stamps, but joined post crossing because of me. Thank you. Monty just passed the 300 card sent mark. That's good. I understand why I didn't like the card. Yeah, some people, you can send whatever card. They will take anything. I'm like that. You can send me whatever you like. I don't have to like every card that arrives, but I do appreciate the effort that anyone has sent to send me a card. So that's kind of how my feelings on it. When I get a like or put the heart on every card that I get, even though I appreciate every card that does come. Hello, Cosmo. How do you put a thumbs up? Well, if you're on your tablet or on your phone or your computer, there's a little button that you can click that has this symbol. If you're watching on your television, then you probably don't have a keyboard attached to it to do so. But that's how you do it. Joe's is going to be up to 400 postcards this week, so you can see the different levels that people are at sending. So that's great. How did post crossing start? It started in Portugal about almost 20 years ago now. I think we're in the 19th anniversary of it now. So yeah, a couple there started it. Now I've been a part of it for 4 years. So I think of myself as a relatively newbie at it compared to some others. But I've been happily promoting it ever since I started it. You can do it after the live too. If you watch a video, any video you watch, whether it's live or a recorded one, you can put a thumbs up, you can add a comment. It's all kind of symbols in a row when you're watching it. Marie's been acquiring lots of vintage US stamps for post crossing. That's great, especially you go to stamp shows and they sell off mint stamps. If there's stuff that you've got duplicates of, why not use them for that? I love seeing postcards. Like Monty regularly sends postcards. I don't have one right at my fingertips that have lots of vintage stamps on it. It's really cool to see some old stamps. And they're being used for what they're intended to be used for. Postage. Yes, Gary, whether or not you keep the card intact or save the stamp for your collection. I'm at the point where I save them all on my postcards. I haven't taken a card apart for a stamp yet, even though there's been some amazing ones come through. Ambre in France always sends me beautiful French stamps, and I would love to have them in my collection, but I'm not willing to destroy the card to get them. Miss Starbuck has sent over 100 postcards, but when I count the cards from forums and tags, it's double. Yeah, if you get into forums and doing contests, and yeah, you can send a lot of cards. Like I said, I'm 900 cards sent in post crossing almost, but I'm probably another 1,000 or more sent to direct swaps out there, which I don't even want to think of the dollar figure that's attached to that. Item Re's 10 years in with post crossing. Yeah, in the live you can put the thumbs up, or not when it's live you can put the thumbs up. Either way. Media's got ice dance competition. The Worlds are in Boston right now, and they're going to start soon. They're from Canada. Hopefully they'll win it. Well, let's cheer on Canada. Thank you so much. Gary's just started. 21 cent, 23 received. Got to start somewhere. BC3006. What's up, Tom Segura? Great comedian. Funny guy. If you're him, love your comedy. 62. Sarah sent 62, received 66, and she has 10 traveling. So, yeah, doing well. Item Re, 5 cards or less. That means how many slots you've got less to send? 5? Yeah, you got to work on your own finances. Now, sometimes I've blown the budget with these, and that's kind of why I have to work on controlling things. Media now has more than 1,100 official post-crossing cards sent. I think when you're in Europe too, you can send a lot more and receive a lot more quicker. Your numbers add up much faster. Because Media and I started around the same time, I think. And then she's got 200 more going than I do. Starbucks says for her personally, she doesn't drink, she doesn't smoke, doesn't follow fashion, but puts her money into post-crossing her books. I'm the same way. You've seen my library. We've put a lot of money into books over time too. Haven't been reading as much lately, even though at one point I wanted to get back into it, but I've kind of fallen off that horse once again. But yeah, my finances goes into Lego and stamps mostly these days, as far as hobbies. Christopher is right at the beginning. He sent 11 and received 11, which is great because at the first you said you hadn't been receiving any, so now they're evening out. If I can stop tripping over my tongue, it will pick up and go quickly. Stephen or Christopher, you'll be sending lots and receiving lots very quickly. Oh, Item Marie says she doesn't send more than 5 cards at a time for costs. Okay, so even though you have slots to send 30 or something, you only send 5 at a time. Yeah, so you're doing what you can. Monty's favorite part is seeing the decorating, the creativity. I like to see a well-decorated card, but I also really enjoy seeing a original message rather than happy post-crossing. I want to hear about, not so much I live in this city, I do this, but if it's a personal message, it's great. Stephen says he's at 110 postcards mark with 10 traveling. There you go. You're getting there. You're going. Gary said he got a card from Italy. The person had sent 5,200 cards in 12 years. Yeah, my favorite are when you get someone that sent 18,000, 20,000. Yeah, they'd been doing it since post-crossing began. I'm doing a lot of reading right now. You're right. You guys are keeping me busy by sending lots of messages, and that's what I want to see. 26 people on. 23 people have given thumbs up. Yeah, over 20,000 cards. It's amazing when you see those. Ms. Starbuck says, I don't really like the happy post-crossing message. That might comes across as they want to send as much as possible. And really, yeah, sometimes, though, it's a language issue. People, English isn't their first language. So if we're getting a card from them and maybe the only thing that they really know how to write out is happy post-crossing because they've done it many times in the past, sometimes I wish they would just write in whatever their language was. If it's legible enough, I can put a translate app over top of it and read it. Sometimes I can't if it's script writing. Hello, welcome. So yeah, so I understand too why some people do a drawing or just write happy post-crossing because English isn't their first language, and I appreciate that too. But I like it more when there's something personal. And I don't mean personal, but, when they say, we're going on a trip next week and we're excited. We've just had a baby. We're excited. Winter is finally over. We're excited about that. I'd rather those kind of messages. Yeah, exactly, Miss Starbuck. Now, are you Miss Starbuck because you like coffee Starbuck, or are you Miss Starbuck because you like Battlestar Galactica Starbuck? Here's my nerdy reference for you. Yeah, Gary, sometimes if you're getting a meetup card, the people that have stamped and put on doesn't leave a lot of room for message. I don't mind that. I don't mind getting a card like that that shows that 40 people were at the meetup, and that's the message, is that a lot of people of this hobby got together at one point in time to do something that we all enjoy, and now I'm getting a piece of that. That I don't mind. If there's no message on that, someone's put a little arrow at least to their stamp so I know who has sent it. That's what I want to see. Those cards are all right with me. Lila primarily writes in cursive. Find it hard to remember to print for post-crossers in Japan and China and other Asian countries. As long as you've got nice writing, Lila, it doesn't matter as long as we can read it. That's great. And I know you've got nice cursive writing. Will AI take over post-crossing and take the fun out of it? I don't think so. I know there's a lot of AI cards that are generated out of there, and I don't mind some of them. I think there are still going to be other cards that are out there. I think the more people create their own cards, maybe from pictures they've taken and things, it will change the way postcards are viewed. But it's still being done the same way. It's still a message being sent out. So I'm all right with that. Marie says, meetup cards are fun. YouTube has viewers on Mercury. That's great. Hello, everyone. Well, there you go. You are in the right mindset, Miss Starbuck. If we have connected through Battlestar Galactica, yeah, the originals definitely. I liked the reboot. It was good with the female Starbuck, but yeah, I'm old school too. I'm old. Also a fan of Star Trek, Star Wars, etc. Yeah, all the things I enjoy as well. Front and back covered. Oh, Steven says you got a card from Sweden that was covered in stamps front and back. That would be cool. Because that way you still have the card, but you can have the stamps as well, separate. All right, Joseph, thanks for joining. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. We're at 75 minutes. Wow, we've been going a long time today. There are a lot of people on 25 and 25. We're even up with thumbs up and stuff. Stephen says he was pleased by that. Item where you get a bilingual postcard from Japan. That was cool. Gary got a envelope from France that has souvenir sheet as postage. That's awesome. And Christopher's binging Star Trek Enterprise, which was a great show. Space 1999. I don't remember that. Anything to do with Space Odyssey 2001 was a prequel. Adam Reed's got to go soon too. One thing, Joe's not on, but I got this from Joe this past week. It is sealed. I've never opened it. I assume that there is nothing inside. I didn't open it because it's the cancellation and stuff. So Joe, if you're watching in this replay crew, let me know if it's something I should be opening. Is there something inside? Because I haven't. That's awesome, Miss Starbuck. And if you're on Instagram, you can write to me at thatdadguy1974. So yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this up. So I wanted people to know where I was, where I can be found. Want to thank everybody for joining in again here. And wow, we've had a long one. Gary needs to get a postmark from Vulcan, Alberta. Yeah, that would be an awesome one. They really embrace their Star Trek connection. Steven said the envelope he got from Joe was empty. Okay, so that's good to know. Beautiful, don't open. Good, I won't open it then. What is my favorite Star Trek series? I'm a Next Generation fan. Captain Picard, love that. But there have been a lot of really good ones. Even the new ones that are out now are really cool. And I remember Space 1999. Rob, save your photos on a CD-ROM or DVD. I did do that when I was younger. I don't even have that on my computer anymore as an option. Ensign, Alberta is just north of Vulcan. All right, good to know. All right, I am going to Voyager is Miss Starbuck's favorite. That was a good one as well. Babylon 5. You guys are making it hard for me to say goodbye because you were putting in great comments, talking about great TV shows and things that I can relate with. We need to carry this on into next Saturday. Keep it up with all the wonderful things that are on there. So you guys, I'm going to say goodbye. You guys are going to keep writing things in here. They're going to stop me from it. But have a magical week. Talk to you soon.